Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to remember the sacrifice of the bold Robert Emmet. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, we were not able to enter our capital city this year. However, we're here at the spot at Lough Swilly, where the gallant Wolfe Tone was finally captured by Crown forces. He was captured here during the Battle of Lough Swilly in 1798, leading an expedition of 9 frigates and 1 battleship from the French Republicans, who sent their men here to aid Ireland in our struggle for freedom. He was taken to Buncrana Castle, which is just behind us, briefly before being taken to Kilmainham Jail to be executed. By the time he arrived, the Irish rebels, the United Irishmen, their forces had already been overrun. Crown forces had already defeated the Irish rebels in 1798. But Wolfe Tone was undaunted. Wolfe Tone was unbowed and unbroken. When Admiral Bompard of the French Republic suggested that he should retreat, that he should flee back to France, and offered him a French frigate, he denied him. He said no. He took 3 frigates into Lough Swilly and for 6 glorious hours battled British Crown forces. The entire might of the strongest navy the world had ever seen. And finally, when 3 frigates were left in a smouldering, fiery wreck, he was finally captured just over here by the banks of the river. Wolfe Tone not only inspired ourselves, but he inspired the bold Robert Emmet. He inspired the great sacrifices of our Republican martyrs of the Irish struggle for freedom. Wolfe Tone, however, was a Presbyterian. His follower, Robert Emmet, of the 1803 rising, was an Anglican. Without these brave men, these brave Protestant men, there would be no such thing as Irish republicanism. There would be no such thing as Irish nationalism. The dream of a nation, once again, would have never come. It would have never been in the first place. Tone was the forefather of Robert Emmet's rebellion, as he was the forefather of all Irish nationalists. Without these brave men, without their sacrifice, Ireland would be a mere province of England. Of England, the globalised plantation. The most butchered, the most brutalised country in Europe. Scarcely even a nation anymore. We will be as godless and as destitute as they are today. In Tone's own words, the definition of a free Ireland was to unite Protestant, Catholic and Dissenter under the common name of Irish men, in order to break the connection with England, the never-failing source of all of our political evils. That was his aim. And that was the aim of Robert Emmet. That was the aim of the man who captured the hearts of Irish men and women, from the north to the south and from the east to the west. The man who gave his life for the land he was born in, to pass down a tradition of Irish nationalism to us today. The Fenian faith that we profess. Robert Emmet understood full well that our ties of blood and heritage and history can overcome the religious sectarianism that our enemies have always used to divide and control the people of Ireland. The religious sectarianism that has made of the Irish people a race of slaves for the past 4 centuries. The dream of Robert Emmet, the dream of Wolfe Tone, was laid down in the proclamation. The proclamation declares its resolve to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and all of its parts, cherishing all of the children of the nation equally, and oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government, which have divided a minority from the majority in the past. Yes, not only was Irish republicanism, Irish nationalism, founded by Protestants, but every single generation of Irish rebels, but for the last, has understood that religious sectarianism is the tool of the enemy. Tone's generation understood it. Robert Emmet's generation understood it. John Mitchell's generation understood it. Henry Grattan's generation, Erskine Childer's generation, the Protestant men who fought in the GPO understood it. But so-called Marxist Republicans of today do not. Because it is Sinn Féin who thrives today on the poison of religious sectarianism in this country. It is Sinn Féin where the EU loyalists, loyal to a foreign power, who use religious sectarianism to hold a grip of power over the minds and hearts of the Irish people. Without sectarianism, can you honestly tell me that Sinn Féin would even exist today? Sectarianism was once the tool used by the British government and the foreign landlords that stole the land from under our feet and enslaved our people to maintain their control over this country. Today is the globalist, Marxist, far left, the EU loyalists, the anti-Irish traitors who use religious sectarianism to force a new plantation onto our country. Cromwell would have given us Connacht. But the Marxist degenerates, the Marxist Republicans, the so-called Irish nationalists of Sinn Féin, will take every last inch of land from the Irish people. There will not be one townland, there will not be one parish, there will not be one household that will not be planted by foreign in the next 50 years if these Marxist communists have their way. These so-called Irish nationalists, these so-called Irish Republicans take control of this country. Irish Catholic nationalists such as ourselves have been lambasted over the last few days for seeking friendship with those in the Protestant community who would be friendly to a united Ireland, an Ireland united under Christ. Marxist Republicans have called us traitors, have called us West Brits, have called us allies of the sectarian bigots that once oppressed our people. Because we want to make friends, want to build allegiances with those Protestants who can see the virtue of an Ireland united under Christ. But Tone's definition of a free Ireland still stands today: to unite Protestant, Catholic and dissenter under the common name of Irish men in order to break the shackles of foreign bondage in this country. Just as the United Irishmen stood together, Protestant, Catholic and dissenter, against foreign rule for the freedom of our people, for the freedom of the Irish race, so Síol and hÉireann stands. Sectarianism is the enemy of the Irish people because sectarianism is the ally and the tool of the Marxist communist scum that call themselves Irish nationalists today. As the Presbyterians have said for 400 years, no king but Christ. And what better a Republican slogan could there be? What better a Republican nationalist slogan could there be? As Robert Emmet, our gallant Fenian martyr, knew, an Ireland unfree shall never be at peace. But Ireland will only know freedom. She will only know Christ's peace when she takes Christ's sword.